guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought I would do a top 10 Netflix recommendations list. Currently when I'm filming this, I'm not quite sure when this video is going to go up, but we are in lockdown and I know that everybody, well I certainly am, I'm watching everything on Netflix in my spare time. So I thought it'd be a great time to share my top 10 Netflix recommendations with you guys. I've just got my little notebook. I originally thought I was going to do this in order, but then I found that too difficult. So I thought I would just read through them, give you a bit of a brief description of what they're about, what I think of them, what I liked about them, etc, etc. And yeah, hopefully you guys take on board what I say and you enjoy them as well. So the first one is Pretty Little Liars. Now I know I just said that I wouldn't rank them, but I definitely think get my words right, I definitely think that this is my favourite series. I could watch it over and over. The only thing I would say is, like anything, I think they did 7 series in the end, and I think towards the 7th series it got a bit stupid and I didn't really like the storyline, but I still think it's my favourite series. So just to give you a bit of a brief description of what Pretty Little Liars is, it's about a group of friends. There's 5 of them in the friendship group, and it's basically, I don't want to give too much away because I'm really bad at this. I'll start describing something and then I tell you the big plot and then there's no point watching it. But it's about a group of 5 girls, high school girls, so it's American, and basically there's a lot of twists and turns, there's crimes, that kind of thing. I'm not really selling it, but I promise you it is a really, really good series and I really enjoyed it. It's one of those ones which I personally think we can all say that we get gripped to, where you think, I need to watch the next episode, I need to watch the next episode. One thing I would say is feedback from one of my friends as well when I said to her about it, is she couldn't really get into it for a couple of episodes. Give it a couple of episodes, just like anything. I find the first episode is a bit like, oh, where is this going? Is this ever going to pick up? But do give it some time and it does get really, really good. My second recommendation is Prison Break. Can't talk today. Prison Break. Now this is definitely one of mine and Jason's favourites. He puts it on regardless, he just watches it over and over again. I really enjoy it. There's quite a few series of that. I can't remember how many series or seasons it is, I'm not quite sure what the correct term is. But I really enjoy that also. It's about, kind of gives it away in the title, Prison Break, but it's about 2 brothers and it's about one of the brothers is on death row for a crime and the other brother, who is really intelligent, basically is trying to free him, or yeah, basically. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but I definitely recommend a Prison Break marathon. Is it a Prison Break marathon. There you go. My third recommendation is Suits. Now I really enjoy Suits. It's got Meghan Markle in it. I know she obviously has lots of mixed opinions about her, but I really enjoy Suits and I think she does a really good job in that. It's also got Patrick Adams. He's ironically married to Spencer from Pretty Little Liars and she appears in Suits as well actually. But Suits is about a law firm. I'm really sorry that I can't talk today. It is about a law firm in, I think it's in New York. Most of these are American series, that's just kind of how it goes with these kind of series on Netflix. But yeah, it's about a law firm and it's about, I really struggled to try and write a description. It's about a law firm and basically this guy goes in, he's not qualified and you kind of just follow his journey. There's lots of turns, there's lots of cases, it's just really good and it's really gripping as well. The next recommendation is The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez. Now this is something a bit different. this is real life. So this is, if you haven't heard about it, I know loads of people have been raving about it, or raving about the series, obviously not the storyline, all over social media. But it is about a young boy called Gabriel Fernandez. This isn't giving it away because, like I said, it's real life. He gets murdered by his mum and his mum's partner, and it basically talks you through the storyline. So it's more like a well, I suppose it is a documentary. Talks you through the storyline, talks you through the court case, etc, etc. And I get really emotionally attached to series, like even if it's not real life, I get really emotionally attached. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen the other day that I put about watching Argo and how I cried. Just shows that I get really emotionally attached to any kind of series. But I definitely found I was quite emotional watching it, just because they explain, you know, what happened to him, what they did to him, and I just think I can't understand how a parent could do that to their child, or how anybody could do that to anybody, but especially a parent to a child. So a pre-warning, it is emotional and it is horrific. Like when they explain what they, you know, when they go through what happened and everything, it is horrific, so that's a bit of a pre-warning for you. But it is a really good series to watch. We watched that recently. My next recommendation is Safe. Now this is actually, so there's two series on Netflix. One is called The Stranger, which is also really good. And then the other one is Safe. And they're written by the same author. Are they right? I don't know if they're based on books or not, but they're basically by the same person. Obviously different storylines, but Safe is about a young girl, and basically it's about a safe community. They've got this gated community. It's about them being safe, but there's an event that happens, and it basically there's a death that happens. I'm not explaining this. There's a death that happens, and it's about who in that safe community committed the crime, and it talks you through all of that, and it gives you all the backstories, and that's also really addictive. Although to be fair, I'd say all of these are addictive, so that's also good. I didn't put The Stranger on here, but I suppose I could tie it in with Safe because, like I said, they're by the same person. But that is about a stranger, basically. I've watched so many series, I start to lose what the storylines of which is. It's basically about a stranger, and she kind of knows everything about everybody, and you don't understand what the connections are, and then it all comes out, and it's mind-boggling. But I would say Safe is probably better than The Stranger, but that's just my opinion. The next one is The Sinner. Now I watched this a little while ago, and there's actually two series, but they're two completely different storylines, so they don't correspond with each other. So I actually watched it the wrong way round. I started watching it with my friend Kelly, and she was on series 2, so I started watching it I watched series 2 and then I watched series 1. But they're two completely different storylines. It's basically about both people commit a crime or are a bit of a sinner. They commit a sin, essentially, and it talks you through the storyline, and they're like talking to a psychologist, I think. So yeah, you get the stories of those. Next one is very light-hearted, actually, compared to all the ones I've just described, is Jane the Virgin. I love Jane the Virgin, and when I first saw it on Netflix and I heard people talking about it, I thought, no, not my kind of thing. Don't think I'll like it. Sorry, I'm something in my throat. Sorry about that, I needed a drink. I had a frog in my throat. A frog in my throat where I'd been talking so much and not had a drink. So, yes, Jane the Virgin. So I thought it wasn't really going to be my kind of thing, but I started watching it and I got really addicted into it really quite easily. A bit like Pretty Little Liars, although they're not anywhere near the same kind of thing. But I started watching it. It's basically about a girl called Jane. She is a virgin and she becomes pregnant, and she doesn't understand how she's become pregnant, and then they will learn out how she becomes pregnant, and then it's just following her journey basically. And there's lots of twists, there's lots of turns, there's relationships, there's breakups, there's deaths, there's this, there's that. But that's a really good one, and I was really sad when the last series came out this year, because I really enjoyed that one. So the next one is You. Now I'm sure you have probably heard every man and his dog, I'm sorry I keep playing my hair, you've probably heard every man and his dog talking about You. It was, I mean, I've not heard people talk about it so much now, I suppose everybody's kind of watched it, but definitely a month or a couple of months ago everyone was talking about You. It is about a bloke, and I can never remember people's names though. What's his name? I keep wanting to say Dan because that's who he is in Gossip Girl. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But it's about him, and he basically gets obsessed with people, and he stalks people. He stalks people that he is, I mean, I'm saying people, but he stalks girls that he loves, and it's basically about that in a sense. So he stalks them, he knows everything about them, etc, etc, so it kind of just unwinds that. That I have heard there's 2 series, so the second series came out December, I think, end of December, January. There is going to be a 3rd series, so I'm very excited to watch that and see where that goes. I haven't found that that's one of those series that gets worse. I think it still is really, really good. The next one, again, is very light-hearted, and it is Love is Blind. Now, this is probably one that any boyfriends probably won't enjoy watching. I know for sure that Jason didn't watch any of it with me, and he was, every time I was watching, he's like, oh, you're watching that again. It is a bit well, it's a dating show, so maybe like your Love Island kind of type. Basically, it's where people go into a pod and they have a wall between them, they can't see each other, they're just sat in these rooms, and like they talk to each other, so they speed date people, and they get to know people without being able to see them. They don't know what they look like, so they're just basing it on what their conversations are like, what they tell them. I mean, they can ask them questions, they can ask them like, how old are you, or whatever. But yeah, it's basically trying to work out, it's a social experiment. It's a real life thing. So yeah, they basically meet, and well, the only time that they meet is if they get proposed to and if they say yes. So if they get engaged, then they get to meet and see each other in person, and then they have, I think is it 6 weeks or 12 weeks, I can't remember, but their wedding gets planned, like their wedding day gets set for them, and then so they get engaged, they obviously meet, they go on a vacation. Sound very American there because it's American. They go on this vacation together, and then they have their wedding day, and it kind of all boils down to the wedding day, whether they're both going to say I do. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. I got really addicted to that, and I think it's because it's so light-hearted, like it's really easy to watch. It's not something like, I don't know, You or something that you've got to really focus on and you've got to concentrate on. It's something you can have on in the background, but you want to sit and watch it at the same time. So I definitely recommend that. But like I said, if your boyfriends or girlfriends or partners or whatever are anything like Jason, then they won't want to watch it with you. And the final one, number 10, is 13 Reasons Why. I have watched both series of these. I did wonder how they were going to bring it back again, because basically the first series is about a girl called Hannah, and she kills herself, and it is she has got 13 tapes, and it's 13 reasons why she's killed herself, and it's every tape relates to a different person. So it talks you through the storyline, it talks through the tapes. It's really quite sad actually, because she's only in high school, and it's sad that, you know, that's how she resulted to end her life basically, and that's the way that she thought was her only way out. But that's really good, and the second series is good as well. It's probably not as good as the first series, just because obviously that's based on the main storyline, but it is really good and really gripping as well, so I definitely recommend that also. So those are my top 10 Netflix recommendations. Please leave any comments down below of any recommendations on Netflix that you would recommend. I have watched a lot, obviously those are my recommendations, but I've watched Gossip Girl, I've watched Riverdale. I do really like, just quickly, I do really like Riverdale, but I feel like it's gone downhill in the last couple of series, so that's why I didn't put it on my recommendations. What else have I watched? I've watched Gossip Girl, Riverdale. I've watched a lot basically, but I can't think for the life of me what it is. So yes, please leave any recommendations of what you would recommend for me to watch down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm also really sorry about the lighting. I was working on natural light and it's gone dark, so I've got my ring light, which I think is probably just shining on my face. So I hope the lighting's still okay. Like I said, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and also follow me on Instagram. It will be in the description box, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.